talk about Alabama, which has just been destroying teams, rolling over opponents. If you take Texas A&M out of it, 281-36. So, Chris, is there anything that comes to mind you think that might scare Nick Saban, whether it's a team or an aspect of his team?
Well, I think when you look at it, we know that it's the players, not the plays, that win football games. And when you look at this team, they are supremely talented in terms of personnel. There's not a better team out there that has that type of personnel. But that's the good news and the bad news, because I think overconfidence is an issue. I think Coach Saban worries the most about his guys getting off the bus thinking they're going to win simply by showing up.
Do you think it's overconfidence or complacency?
I think it's overconfidence. I think swag and overconfidence, sometimes they're inseparable, and I think that's going to be the biggest issue.
We haven't seen this team play overconfident in years, so I don't think that's going to be the problem. The issue for them is they don't want to face anybody with the spread offense. And after what happened with Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M, I think they could probably shut down Oregon, but do you want to face Marcus Mariota and deal with that? You want to deal with guys who can run around and make plays? There's not another Johnny Manziel out there. Mariota's close. Who knows what Baylor could do with that offense? They don't want to see a high-octane spread attack again.
How about the scariest game left on the schedule for any of the top teams?
Florida State's got to worry about that game against Florida. We just talked about the pity party. I like that down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But that defense is still fantastic. At home, an underdog with everything on the line for Florida State. That's the type of team that can kind of hang on to the ball for 40 minutes, frustrate them, and give Florida State a hard time. Remember, in this beauty contest between Oregon and Florida State, the team doesn't have to lose. They just have to come close. And that might be enough to kind of help the other team out. So Florida could give Florida State a really hard time.
Well, Pete, I grew up in Florida. I follow you on that. And you always have to worry about rivalry games. So Oregon could be an issue. Ohio State, Michigan. But when you look at it, for me, guys, the scariest game is Stanford. When you look at Oregon, because of their personnel and how they match up, this is a team with elite, massive size versus elite speed. This is a team that has a great defense to complement the offense, particularly against the run, where they're number one in the conference in terms of rush defense. So when you look at it, it's going to be size versus speed, but Oregon has to worry about Stanford. That will be their next opponent.
The scariest game that's out there that's not technically on the schedule yet, if Ohio State has to play Michigan State in the Big Ten Championship.
Yes.
No one wants to deal with that Spartan defense right
and
now.
Also Baylor, the next three games, really tough for them. They've got OU, Texas Tech at home, and then they've got Oklahoma State on the road.
They haven't beaten a team yet that's going to go bowling.
They've been rolling
and rolling and rolling.
and
If they have to play somebody good, then it'll be scary.
Yeah. Chris, how about the most dangerous team outside of the top 10?
Oh, gosh, when you look at it, I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but I think Central Florida.
If you're sitting in that chair, it's UCF.
You are playing the role of Doug Chapman.
Well, it's UCF, and people don't want to admit it, but when you look at it, I mean, they went absolutely toe-to-toe with South Carolina, and really South Carolina cheated death. They lost by 3 on that one. They beat Penn State in their backyard. They beat Louisville in their backyard. This is a very talented team. Quarterback Blake Bortles is awesome. When you look at Storm Johnson, he's an absolute beast. And I think people have to give this team credit. Pete, they're not going away as much as everybody wants them to.
You've got them in a BCS bowl.
Well, them are Houston. They're pretty dangerous, too. I'm going with the team that would, seriously, they would blast UCF out of the water. I like Texas A&M. I think they're an extremely dangerous team. Again, no one wants to face Johnny Manziel right now.
Their defense, hello.
But LSU. LSU is that team that's outside of the top 10 that I think once we get to game time, I know they've kind of been flaky. They haven't quite played up to snuff. Russ Mitchell, our LSU guy, he doesn't really like him very much right now. But when game time hits against Alabama, that team, that talent level is going to rise up, and watch out for the Tigers.
I think you're forgetting about one team that people have sort of dropped off their radar, Wisconsin. Because in theory, they were this close, or a half a knee, because it wasn't even a full knee, away from beating ASU.
Truth.
Okay? They lost to Ohio State only by a touchdown on the road.
And their best win is against?
Well, okay, but fine. And they also have one of the best running backs in the country in Melvin
They're
Gordon.
fantastic, but they haven't beaten anybody. I mean, that's the problem,
and
though.
The schedule's not crazy. It's
that
the
Arizona
Big Ten.
State loss is going to
It's
prove
not the
costly
Big 12.
because 11-1, Wisconsin's probably in the BCS hunt, at least for an at-large bid. But that Arizona State loss keeps them down, kills them.
Big Ten's lukewarm.
Don't discount the Badgers.
I don't discount the Badgers.
Final question. The one guy, Pete, Although Pete on a football field, I think he might be scared of anybody. But the one player you would be frightened to line up against on a college gridiron.
Frightened to line up against you after that? That hurts, man. Well, in the same,
I mean it affectionately.
It's the exact same way. Anthony Steen, the guard for Alabama, because of exactly what you talk about. Look, on the right day, if I dove at Johnny Manziel's legs, I could probably trip him up, or I could probably do something. Anthony Steen lining up against me, and I had to try to hang out with him, he would kill me. He would throw me in the 15th row. The best run blocker in college football, the last guy who I would ever want to face on anything would be a guy who could blast away like that.
I don't know if you're touching Johnny Manziel.
I could, but on the right day, if I dove and guessed
I'd
right.
like to see you try, though.
Dive in front of him, maybe.
Yeah.
For me, former defensive back, it's famous Jameis Winston. When you look at it, quarterback at Florida State, this kid is absolutely phenomenal. He's 6 foot forever. He can spin the ball all over the place. And when you look at it, he has single-handedly rejuvenated this program. They haven't had this much noise in Tallahassee since the days of Bobby Bowden. This kid's electrifying, and he's absolutely frightening.
I know you got a quarterback down at Oklahoma nicknamed the Belldozer, but Carlos Hyde is the Bulldozer. I would not want to have to face that guy running full steam down. Well, oh, really? That wasn't necessary.
Oh, I don't know what you mean.